So you're either here because you're subscribed to me, or you want to know how you can live your best life and have that main character energy and just live with no regrets. I'm not going to stand here and tell you the exact steps to take to live your best life, because quite frankly, everyone has their own opinions on what living life to the fullest means to them. Even as an individual, your definition of your best life or your dream life changes based on how old you are. In high school, I had this perfect picture of what my life wanted to look like, and now that I'm in college and almost graduating, I have a completely different outlook. Instead of giving you a complete guide as to how to change your life, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some things that you could be doing, some things that I do, some different habits that I've changed, and some things that have worked for other people. There's some things that may work great for other people and not great for you, and that is completely okay because you guys are two different people and you just have to figure out what works best for you. The first thing that you need to do is change your mindset. You have to have that aha moment, realizing this is what you want to do differently with your life in order to be the happiest person that you can be, because I really feel like living your life to the fullest means that you are completely happy. And obviously you can have some bad days, and there are bad days. I have so many of them, but it's important to try to eliminate those by getting rid of anything toxic, such as friends, social media. If you're eating foods that don't make you feel good about yourself, you can always try to change that. Going off of changing your mindset, you also have to stay positive. And I know it's really hard in times like these, during a pandemic, and it can be scary, it can be lonely and stressful because things are just constantly changing. You have to have a positive outlook on everything. It's good to be optimistic sometimes. Sometimes it makes me feel better if I'm more positive about something that's going wrong in my life, and it just kind of makes myself feel better. One really good way to stay positive and hold on to those good moments is to write them down or take photos of them. I'm also going to talk about capturing memories later, but write things down. Write things down that make you happy. Write down moments that made you smile or things that people said to you that made you happy. So if you're feeling down or if you're feeling in kind of like that negative vibe space, you can always go back and look at them and kind of lift your spirits. I feel like I just talked about things that I want to talk about later in this video, but we're just going to do them now since I already mentioned them, and that is capturing memories and keeping a journal. I think it's really important to capture memories, whether that be on your phone, on your camera. I absolutely love taking photographs, and I like to print them out, as you can tell here. I just think it's a great way to hold on to those memories that made you feel really, really good, and it also helps you keep a positive mindset. I think that part of your life is growth, and through journaling and capturing photos, you can see how much you individually have grown and the people around you. By keeping a journal, it is also a great way to just mark down everything that you've done, whether that be positive or negative, and you can mark down things that made you happy, sad, and just what's been going on in your life. Then later on, you can look back and say, okay, this went wrong and this is how I'm going to change it. Journals are also great for creating goals, whether those be long-term or short-term. I find that journaling, it gives me peace of mind, and it just makes me feel so much better just writing down all of my thoughts. You can also do a kind of stream of consciousness if you're just in the mood to write or you just have a lot on your mind. Doing a stream of consciousness writing time is really helpful to just kind of get everything out in the air. The next thing that I think is really important is getting out of your comfort zone. I think that sometimes people are scared to do things and don't try things because they're uncomfortable, but life is all about being uncomfortable, and there are obviously going to be some things that you really don't want to do, and no one is going to force you to, and no one should force you to do anything. But there are some times where you just have to put yourself out there and make yourself be vulnerable and be open to trying new experiences. I, for one, have been always scared of what other people think of me, and I think that sometimes that stops me from doing what I love. So, for example, for YouTube, I was really nervous about making YouTube videos because everyone would make fun of me and then kind of joke around, but this is something that I was passionate about, and obviously I've been here for 5 years. Yeah, it's been like 5 or 6 years. And this is something that I continue to do, and I stepped outside of my comfort zone and just went ahead and did it. I think in terms of living your best life, you have to live for yourself. No one is gonna be able to tell you how exactly you can live your life. You have your own choices to make, you're allowed your own opinions. I cannot get this necklace on. And I think it's just really important to remember that, because sometimes people are too scared about what other people think about them, and it influences how they act, how they dress, how they look. And I think that you should be able to do what you want to do and kind of be confident in your choices. This also includes taking care of yourself. Self-care is super important for feeling happy and healthy, and I think that taking some days or a couple hours to yourself to just kind of do a little reset and make sure that you are all good in your mind and your body is really important. Now, I talked a lot about writing down in your journal and taking pictures and making those memories that you had that were good last. Now, the important thing to note about this is not living in the past, but living in the present, but remembering the past, if that kind of makes sense. I know I kind of said a lot of words. Basically, what I'm saying is you can't let your past completely define you. There are things that are very defining moments in your past that make you who you are, but there are also things that just don't really matter because the past is the past and you should live for yourself in the present. Living for yourself in the present is so much easier than remembering what happened 2 years ago on a specific day. That stuff doesn't really matter in the long term of things. While you are living in the present and in the now, you also want to be mindful of your future, obviously. A lot of big decisions will affect your future, but a lot of the smaller decisions won't, and so that's why it's important to just kind of do what you want to do right now because there's no better time. This next part is really fun, and that is creating a bucket list timeline. So what I mean by this is creating a timeline for 1 year to 5 years to 10 years, kind of where you want your life to be. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect, it's going to change, and your ideas and things that you want are going to change, but by creating a list, you can also keep yourself reliable and just be more open to new ideas. So for example, in 1 year, I want to graduate from college and I want to graduate and have a job. So that's a lot, but that's what I want to do in 1 year. And then I also want to travel. In 5 years, I see myself getting married, purchasing an apartment or a house, and then in 10 years and so on. So by having a list, you can kind of show yourself kind of what you want your life to be like and then adjust it from there. I don't know about you guys, but it's also just really fun to plan out your life and find really fun things to do and things that you wouldn't really consider, but you know, you might want to try when you're older or in the future, which is kind of when you're older, so you know. I believe that living your life the way that you want is really important. I think that if you let someone else define what's important to you and what your values are and what you want to do with your life, you're not going to get anywhere and you're not going to be as happy as you usually would. I also think that it's important to just kind of trust yourself. I mean, obviously everything is a learning experience whether you realize it or not, and there's always so much that you can pick up on and do differently the next time around. This then goes into defining your values and sticking to them. Your values are something that kind of dictate and influence how you do things, what you do, what you see in other people. So if you're more family oriented, you're going to do things in your life that are more geared toward helping and being a part of your family. If you're more friendship oriented or work oriented, obviously you're going to be more on that side of the scale. So you can have a ton of different values, and it's important to define your values and not let anyone change them. So if you value trust a lot and someone were to break your trust, they would probably be in deep water with you because you really value trust and they did something to go against that. Now, I know I've jumped around a lot, not only in terms of speaking, but also in terms of my video clips. As you could tell, I was also doing a little get ready with me because I have somewhere to be and it's really exciting. But I did want to kind of wrap this video up, and I have to make sure my camera doesn't fall. I did want to wrap this video up because I really think that living your life to the fullest is important and it makes you happy, and I just feel so much better when I know that I'm doing something because I want to and no one else is telling me to. I also think a lot of it is working on yourself. You know, I've seen a lot of things that are like, I can't love you until you fully love yourself, and I think that's totally true. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't trust yourself, if you don't love yourself, then how are other people supposed to do the same with you, and how are you supposed to be the happiest person that you can be? Like I said earlier, there are bad days. You will have bad days. I have bad days, and you just have to push through them and be optimistic and remember that it's not the end and there's so much more of life to live. I am only 21 years old. I have so much life ahead of me, and while I've had a bad couple of weeks, I have realized that they're just in the past. And like I said, with leaving the past in the past, like, I am so much better than I used to be, and I am way more confident, and I hope this video helped. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know. I will always be here to help you. And I know that this video was kind of all over the place. That's just really my personality, but I did have fun doing a sit down type video while I was getting ready. So if you want more of these, let me know. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye.